Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Litecoin's price chart. And I'm not really sure if I have good news for you because, sure, everything basically in here went according to what we said in the previous video. However, this move down has gotten way too extended for my taste to be a correction and structure. You see, if you remember, the last time that we talked about Litecoin, we were around this area, and the idea was that there's actually a very high chance this is a 1 2 3 4 5 wave down, meaning we are most likely dealing with the beginning of a move on the downside. And we said you can expect a bit of a bounce in short term, but odds are that's just going to be a correction as Russia. And I think it actually turned out to be possibly an A B C in form of an expanded flat. And we said after this move up, there we go, expect another move on the downside. And we specifically said we don't really want to see this move down in Litecoin getting way too extended in an ideal scenario. I think we also talked about Fibonacci's. We said we want to preferably reach to about the 61.8 to about the 78% level, as you can see in here, about $87, and then we want to have a bit of a bounce. And what happened? Instead, we got a move on the downside. Now, why did we want to see a bounce in here? Because, you see, for those of you who are new viewers, my way of analysis is actually with the help of Elliott waves, and Elliott waves suggests if you want to say that we are having our final low around this area, maybe this is like a very important support, then okay, you have to be able to find them off of the lowest low in this region, a 1 2 3 4 5 wave on the upside. This specific scenario is called an impulsive movement. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between our corrections for wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, our wave 3 in here should not be the smallest wave. And when it comes to sub waves, you know it, we're gonna have 5 wave up into wave 1 3 and 5, and for wave 2 and 4, let's say, yeah, okay, ABC into 4 and a WXY into wave 2. Generally, the shape of our corrections doesn't really matter a whole lot. Now, after completing this 5 wave on the upside off of the lows, we are actually going to have a bit of a correction structure on the downside, a very slow and choppy move down that is going to take more time relative to the length of our impulse timing wise. And this whole process right in here is actually going to be generally, I would say, a bit of an annoying price action, and it might actually go on your nerve. So preferably you want to see 5 up correction down and then just get it over with, have an immediate bounce in order to complete the sub waves for a massive wave 3. And in Litecoin, the idea was exactly that. We were saying, okay, let's hope that we are having in here on a higher degree 5 up into 1 correction for wave 2, and then let's get a massive move on the upside into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And do not get me wrong, even right now, at least, since if I just hide everything, as you can see, we haven't really taken the lowest low in here yet. Technically, you are able to argue this is like a 1-2 setup. However, again, number one, this move down is like way too overextended, and number two, it seems like that we are actually dealing with quite a strong move on the downside. And reason number three, even if you want to say that maybe we are having a correction from the highs to about the lows in here, okay, let me ask you this. Are you able to find from the lows a 5 wave on the upside? I think we can all agree that this seems to be kind of a slow and choppy consolidation pattern, meaning what? Yep, you're actually dealing with a correction in here, suggesting the next move is going to be a bit of a decent one on the downside in Litecoin, which in it, yep, there's actually a very good chance that we are going to go down and take the lowest low down here, about $79.50, which will essentially invalidate this 1-2 possibility. And again, I'm gonna say it, even at that point, if you want to be bullish in Litecoin, no worries. You might even be able to find some scenarios indicating the bottom is near us, but you really cannot deny the fact that at that point, building a bullish setup, meaning 5 wave up followed by a correction down, is just going to take some time. So it is generally going to be quite annoying. But again, like we say it in every single video, the market doesn't really care about anybody's feelings, okay? The market does what it does. We are just here to analyze it. Now, Question: based on what we said, what's going to be my primary scenario? Well, now I'm going to argue, yes, this is actually a 5-wave on the upside. However, it may not necessarily be into a larger degree wave one. And to give you an idea, let's go on LTC USD from Coinbase, because in it, we don't really have like such an insane shadow in here. And I'm going to argue probably this is 5-wave down into A. This is a correction structure on the upside into our B leg in form of, if I just do this, excuse me, maybe, I don't know, let's say an ABC in form of an expanded flat. And right now we might be on our way to complete the subwaves for yet another 5-wave down into this potential C leg. Now, for the subwaves of our 5-wave, here is what's going on in my mind. I think this can be a wave 1, correction for 2, and then probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. But I'm not sure if I have good news for you. See, I'm thinking maybe on a higher degree, this is going to be into a wave 3, and then correction for 4, followed by, unfortunately, even another move down into wave 5. And then, fair enough, we can expect a decent bounce in Litecoin. But right now, may I suggest just be patient and careful. Don't jump into any unnecessary bullish or bearish conclusions. Let's just set this one out, see how is it actually going to play out. And sure, if we got to about these areas, generally I would say around maybe $72 to $75, that actually can be a decent buy opportunity, because at that point, if I just do this, as you can see, we are probably going to be around the lower band of this region, about, yes, let's say generally around $70, $72 area. And I do think we are going to have a bit of a bounce, but that bounce is not actually specific for Litecoin. Now, I think generally in a lot of altcoins and also BTC, we are going to have some good bounces, simply because the price is way too overextended on the downside. And if you check out RSI in a lot of altcoins, you're immediately going to realize that in most of them, we are actually like way too oversold. Also in Bitcoin, we are, guess what, very much oversold in daily time frame. So I'm gonna say we are going to have some decent bounces. And I'm just waiting to see maybe 2 more moves on the downside in LTC in order for me to argue, yeah, you know what, this is a decent buy opportunity, or let's say a decent long opportunity, in hope that we go up and at least visit these levels once more, about 110, 115. If we are lucky, maybe even we are going to take the highest side in here, about $135. And at that point, I think we are going to end up making a decent amount of money. You can actually get out of your positions right around these areas. But for now, again, just be patient, just be careful, maybe expect some more moves on the downside. Now, what is happening in terms of indicators? Let's zoom in more, and okay, so let's just actually delete the volume real quick and bring MACD and also stochastic up. There we go. As you can see, in MACD and stochastic RSI, in both of them, we are at the same time having confirmed sell signals, which is really not ideal. It's not really what you want to see. But again, in stochastic RSI, as you can see, it seems like that we are actually quite oversold. So I'm really hoping that soon we are going to have a better bounce. But right now, if we just want to go according to indicators, seems like that we may have some more moves on the downside. And in daily time frame, the situation is sort of kind of the same, meaning in MACD and stochastic RSI, we have sell signals. Also in stochastic RSI, we are oversold, but seems like that we want to get a buy signal in here. However, this isn't really confirmed yet, okay? You need to be patient and wait until the current daily candle closes. And at that point, if we get this thing, okay, fair enough, I guess it can be an optimistic sign, but it's not really enough for me to argue, yeah, you know what, from the current point, we're going to get a move on the upside. I'm actually going to pay a bit more attention to what is happening in terms of Helios waves. And at least, in order for me to open some longs, I want to see yet another small move on the downside. Let's get this one, and then we will make new updates and see what might be the next likely move. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Litecoin's chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.